everybody, this is Christine Bertram and I'm coming to you live from the Hive here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and we're ready for another night of stamping fun. I'm ready anyways. The question is, are you ready? I gotta make sure my phone is ready for this. I was down to 15% and I thought, oh, I better get this puppy charging so that I don't die in the middle of my live. Hi, Sandy, woohoo. Oh, Faye, I just got your message that you have your team meeting tonight and that you'll catch the replay. And you got to get through your taxes. Yeah, you guys, what was I live on Tuesday? I haven't looked at them since Tuesday. And now I'm down to the final day before I leave you guys. I try not to be a procrastinator, but I think what you're going to learn from me when it comes to not stamping stuff, I'm a procrastinator. Oh, but for stamping stuff, I'm not that much of a, I'm not that much of a procrastinator. So yay, let me see if I can pull you guys up. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Nancy. Mary's here. Hi, Aunt Marge, Jean Benson, Brenda, Lynn, and Karen. Wow, woohoo, the gang's all here. So, hi, Gwen. I have a bright yellow shirt on. You guys, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to give you a chest shot because you guys see what's on my shirt. This is from Julie Bierschbach. She found it in a little gift store and she got it for me. It says, be happy. Woohoo. So Julie gave us here at class last night and she gave me a cute little gift, this shirt. Thanks for sharing, Jean. And it fits perfectly. Hi, Luann. Hi, Roxanne from Northern Pennsylvania. It is so soft. You know, like one of those things where you want to pet yourself because the shirt is so soft. So I'm planning to take it with me to Hawaii, and I thought that this shirt is the perfect color to wear down in the sun. No, Florida's the sunshine state. Aloha state. So, hi, Sherry Martin. Hi, Marianne. Hey, Rhonda Wood. Woohoo, you too. And you're not in jail. I love it. So, you gals are joking. It was so funny. They were teasing they're going to have to rob a bank to get money to get some stamping supplies. I'm like, well, if you rob a bank and you end up in jail, I'll have to mail you card kits to jail. So, we don't want that. Hi, Linda. So, we made it to Thursday night, you guys. I leave. I think you know it. Maybe you don't know it. If you don't know it, it's Saturday morning, so I'm down to the final hours now. I'm not days, I'm hours. And hi, Jeannie Parker. And I feel like I've been preparing myself for the last month. I think I started working hard at getting everything done that I needed to get done for being gone. I counted them, you guys. This week I counted 18 days I'm going to be gone. And I started preparing, what are we in May? Back in April. Sometime in the middle of April, I started like designing cards like crazy to get May cards done and then getting June cards done. And I literally finished the last card last night. I finished the last fun folds, you guys. I had been wanting to get that card done. Hi, Amy. Hi, Randy. Hi, Debbie. There's Jane and there's Sandy Fisher. Woohoo. I finally got the last Fun Folds card done. You guys, I want to show it to you. My mom loved it. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. So the Fun Folds class is in conjunction, hi Joanna, with the In Color class and the catalog launch party. So I merged 3 classes together and I had to be super creative to figure out how I was going to make this happen. So hi Kay Warren. So I'll show you those cards because I want to show you guys what I got lined up for June. Oh my gosh, you guys have been phenomenal signing up for so many classes. Hi Brenda Lovelace from Texas. You guys have been amazing. And through today yet, I'm still getting people signing up for a lot of June classes. And I know it's only May 13th. And I just know that the more I can write down on my class sign-up sheet before I leave, the more I'll be able to relax when I'm gone. So I really appreciate that, guys. So hi, Christy Warren. So tonight we're going to be doing the May monthly cards, and we're going to start them in a little bit. But I wanted to show off a couple cards I got in the mail. I also wanted to tell you guys what we have left. Oh my gosh. I personally have this class left, and tomorrow night we have ink, paper, scissors. And then you guys are going to have a guest host teacher, featured teacher, Kelly, my gal Kelly, my marketing manager, and my fabulous cousin. we'll be doing mystery night for you guys next week. So she's a little bit, I don't know what the word is. I don't think she's nervous. Hi, Sharon. Sandy, I got your payment on PayPal for the Summer Creative Escape. I think that's what you're referring to. I did. It came through the other day. I saw it was for the Escape as well as the DSP sampler for the holiday catalog. So I think that's what you're asking about. I did get it. So maybe she's anxious. I think she's a little bit worried or nervous. I'm not quite sure. But normally Kelly is phenomenal when she does the Technique Thursday. So I'm not concerned whatsoever. But hi, June. But I think she's worried because we're going to be, like, you guys are going to be live with her. And she's never been live with you. And the whole managing the comments, and the one thing I have to figure out is spammers. Oh my gosh. Normally she's watching those spammers for me, and I'll have to figure out when it is in the afternoon, and maybe I can manage the spammers from her from the back seat of the car, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think Hawaii's 5 or 6 hours ahead, so that would put us at maybe 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and we might be driving around. I don't know. So, hi, Jay. Hi, Susie Snow. It's new Susie. So your name popped up here, and I believe you won a card from a previous class, and I'm still waiting for your address, I think, or maybe you gave it to me and I missed it. But if you could private message me your address, I'd send you the card that you won. That would be awesome. Get it off a pile that I have over here. So Mystery Night is next week, guys. And then the following Thursday is Paper Pumpkin, and it's the All-Star League Baseball one. And Kelly will rock it. You're right, Jay. Kelly will rock it. She does a phenomenal job. So she's going to be your hostess with the mostest for the next 2 weeks, for the next 2 Thursdays. And then I will be back that first Thursday in June. I think it's the 3rd. And I'm going to do a swap card showcase. You guys, hi Wanda. I have a whole bunch of swap cards that I'm going to have waiting for me in my mailbox when I get home. And hi Dar. And I plan to show them to you, as many as I can, on that Thursday night. So we've got a swap cards showcase planned for Thursday. And then the following is the catalog launch party. So yay, lots of stuff going on. So what do I have, guys? I want to tell you that I have one of these left. I thought by now it would be long gone, but I still have one of the DSP samplers left with a name that needs to get written here. So it was $25 for porch pickup or $33 mailed. It has all your bits and parts in it that you need to make one of these. The screen is frozen. I don't know, Luann, my screen isn't frozen, but maybe I should check just to make sure I'm in the hive, you guys. One thing I always forget to do is to make sure I'm in the hive. Wi-Fi on the hive. Okay, so I shouldn't be freezing. So hopefully I'm okay. You guys, this internet's always something crazy. Hi, Ann. Okay, hi, Rebecca. So this is what you get with the DSP sampler, guys. You get to put it together on your own. I even cut my pots, or my plant's going crooked here. I meant for them to go up and down, but oh well, that happens. So I have one of these bad boys left, if anybody's interested. I also have one of tomorrow night's class left. You guys, it was crazy. I forecasted over by 8, and I only have one left. So tomorrow night is our ink, paper, scissors card class, which we'll make these for. You get a little goodie bag with your rhinestones and your ribbon, and I have the 4 card kits. So like this is what people got in their card kits. They got the punched out pieces and everything embossed and die cut, ready to go. And I included a piece of Whisper white paper. I think that I put that, I realize right now what I did with that. You get a piece of Whisper white paper like that, in case you want to stamp your stuff and then punch it. So I have one of these left for tomorrow night. So ink, paper, scissors featuring the strawberry bundle. And now that one is, the bunch is still on back order. So it should be available later this month. I have an in-person class on the Saturday and the Sunday that I get back called Coffee and Chickens. These are the same cards that we're going to be doing for game night, which is online only. So if you're local to me and want to do these in person, then you could do that, or you could do them online with game night. So that one, you guys have been registering for that. I appreciate it so much. On to the fun folds, you guys. Oh my gosh. So, I'm going to show you the one that I worked on. I'm going to show it to you last. So, these were the fun folds. meets in colors. So you got your pale papaya and your polished pink, soft succulent, evening evergreen, and fresh freesia. Those are the 5 in colors, and I made it into a fun folds class. And so this was Case from Diane Rongi's card, and then I made a belly band, but it opens like this. So that's your fun fold number 1 for that class. It's papaya meets misty moonlight, and using the Art Floral suite of products. Okay, oh, not a suite of products, it's actually just the Art Floral bundle. This one, I'm not sure what you want to call this card, but you got your inside with a butterfly. It has butterfly brilliance and some sentiments from the pansy, and it's like a locking card like this. And when you open it, then you have your inside right here, which is right there. And the butterfly wing is what's used to hold that down, and it's using some of the True Love Designer Series paper that's still current till the end of June. So there's our locking card. This is a gift card holder, actually. It's featuring Quiet Meadow, so super lots of die cutting. My girl Anna is on board. She's die cutting while I'm gone. Thank you so much, Anna. Yay, Anna just joined us. So Anna, this is what you have to prepare for. Pat Torres is also helping me. But this one opens like this, and this pops up, and then there's a little open pocket here that you can store like cash or a gift card. And then what happens is these little stemmies, they go right back underneath, and I've got no dimensionals right in the middle there so that it has a little gap for it to sneak into. And then last but not least, you guys, oh, I love this card. It reminds me of my grandma. She loved plants. I love plants. I must have it in the family gene. And I'm not quite done. I have to put a few embellishments on it, but it uses the plant, the new plant set, Plentiful Plants, I think. And it's like an accordion card that I cased from Angie Liner. So it stands up like this. And I designed it to make it look like the plants are sitting on a table. And then you have one of these little dudes hanging on the back. And it uses some of that new shimmer vellum and the macrame embossing folder. And you're like, well, where do you put sentiments or where do you put words? Well, you could stamp a sentiment right on this light colored wood right here if you really want a sentiment. But I designed it so that when you flip it over, you've got the back of the card where you could write your little love note to whoever you're sending to on the back. So yeah, I'm so excited. So this one was the greens together, and then you've got the purple, the pink, and the orange. So, all right, so this is, everybody's plants are gonna be slightly different. You get a whole sheet with different big toppers and little bottom potters. And so some people will get I'm gonna make my samples all a mixture as well so that you'll get to see the different samples. But how the designer paper comes is it has different tops and different bottoms to mix and match. So, okay, so you guys, that's Fun Folds. That's coming up in June. And then the monthly class for June here are these 3. Yay, I love the curtains. So that one is coming up. And then, you guys, I worked my butt off these last couple weeks. It's so crazy how many cards I got designed. And then I think some of you have seen the pansies. So this is ink, paper, scissors for next month, featuring the pansies, you guys. The bees are on back order, but I was able to secure an order for some bumblebees. So I think we should be set for those. So you guys don't have to fret about that. And then also the Beauty of the Earth is to the sweet class to wrap up June. So you guys, I literally, all these cards that I have shown you, I've designed in the last 4 weeks. Oh my gosh, I might as well show you these. These I already have lined up for July, some July monthly cards. And last but not least, I might as well show you these. You guys haven't seen these yet. It's the Tidings and Trimmings class that I have at the end of July. Look at these little guys. So it's my Christmas in July class. Let's see if I can hold these so you guys can see them. Featuring Evening Evergreen on every card base, and then pulling in Cherry Cobblers and Soft Succulent, some Misty Moonlight. So yeah, literally, that's what I've been working on, you guys. No rest for the weary, they say, right? Or the wicked, I don't know, whatever the saying is. So yes, let's show you guys here. This is from Lila Erickson. She is in Florida. I was trying to see if I could see the city. Swaying Palm Creations, and so she sent me this. It was like the easel card that we made for class in the Fun Folds. So Thank you, Lila. I got that. This one came from Anna Revenue. Woohoo, Anna. Look at the inside. She decorated it all up for me because of the Hawaii trip. So thank you for this beautiful card, Anna. And then last but not least, look at this monstrosity of a card. This is from Judy Bobo. It's a fun fold. She wrote that she made it at a class years ago and made this a few years ago at a class get together. And she wanted to share it with me. So look at this. Look at that fun fold. So yeah, there's a bunch of different folds. So this actually folds flat. There's 2 slices, and then it's all about the score line. Like it's all about the base, no trouble. So it's scored in the middle, and then there's different score lines. And honestly, guys, I won't measure this now and tell you, because I just want to show you how awesome it is. And there's little window acetate up here so that the butterflies are attached. But very awesome card, Judy. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. I got this swap card in the mail today from Lori Miller. Oh my gosh. It's all the in colors, and she used Butterfly Brilliance. And she sent a little cookie with white chocolate chips. So I can't wait to eat that one. All right. And then, you guys, did you see Kelly's Technique Thursday today? Oh my gosh. Look at these envelopes. So these are the hand-penned envelopes. It's an envelope with a matching card base. So much easier to figure out than working with the Dandy Garden set. The yellow was a little hard for me, but we made it work. But she used the hand-penned stamps and then she does that. Doesn't she do a good job when she does her ruffly ribbon? And then she has papaya, all the in colors here. So if you guys want to see how she made that, you can definitely tune into the Technique Thursday. That is from today. So, woohoo. Okay. All right. So, roll call. Let's see here who we have for class tonight. I think that was everything. I'm trying to always remember where we're at. So, you guys, for the product shares, I did sell that single last paper share that I had. That was the Lonely Land last one. But I am taking reservations for another one. So if you missed out on getting the paper share or the new embellishments, the old embellishments, they're not old, they're carryover, the ribbon or the carryover ribbon, you can register for it now. And my plan is when I come back, I'll calculate where I'm at with who wants one, because I've already got 2 paper shares on the list to do. So I'll take everybody who wants one and I'll work on that. I'll get that product ordered and work on that first full week of June. So still open in case anybody wants them. Hi, Brenda Little. So, roll call. We're going to be doing 3 cards tonight for the monthly card class. Oh, we have a nice group tonight. So, Sandy Wicklander, Jean Maxwell, by accident. It happens, you guys, this is what happens when I write you down for the wrong class. Then you get 2 classes and one is on me. So Jean Maxwell is on me because she had signed up for the well-suited card class in May, and my brain registered May and not well-suited. So Jean got the monthly May cards as well as the well-suited. So my mistakes you guys benefit from. I will tell you, this last month has been a lot to keep track of everything, and I make mistakes like everybody else, and I appreciate your patience with me because I never do anything like that intentionally. It's always a mistake, and mistakes happen. Oh, yes, they do. So Jean is on me. Kay Warren, Deanna Estelle, Angela Knutson, Danny Olson tonight, Leslie McMinn, Jeannie Parker, Christy Warren, Lori Kaiser, Ellen Brover, Bonnie Gravlin, Kathy King, Carmen Melendez, Angela Orvis, Molly Rodriguez, Kathy Beck, Sylvia Wagner, Marlene Behrens, Lynn Beasley, Angela. Oh, I got Angela on there twice. I do. So Angela, I had you on twice. Because you got 2 card kits. That's why I had you on there twice. Bonnie was on there twice, but I only called her once. Barb Barkow, Trinket Troy, Mo Stites, Mary Carls, Gloria Roslin, and Rachel Horsch. Woohoo! Yay, the gang's all here. We got a big crew working on cards with me tonight. And they're not hard cards. We did them last night. We had a group of, I think, 9 here last night. And there was just one card that has a lot of coloring. So all of you should have received the PDF tutorial from me. And if you have any questions about it or anything looks off ever, just always let me know so I can make changes to it. But where do we want to start, guys? Do we want to start with the one that makes you feel like you're in second grade where it's all coloring? Maybe we should. Well, my brain is still good. I feel like my brain has been being fried. All right, let's start with that one. It's going to be a good Stamparatus lesson too. I was just looking, it looked like my face froze, so I wanted to make sure I was all good. Okay, so this one, oh, I wonder if I need a sample. Oh, I have samples, perfect. So this is going to be a little bit of a Stamparatus lesson, guys, as well. So, I'm going to pull out the card, flip the camera down, and you guys can see what we're going to work on first. All right, so the stamp set that we're featuring, or I'm featuring with this one, is called Woodland Wonder. Either you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. There aren't many people that are in the middle. I had a few people that absolutely fell in love with this stamp set. They love coloring. They like animals and critters. And so it was right up their alley. And I'm going to show you how we put this one together, as well as making the pieces. I've already done a little bit of all my coloring ahead. And there's a lot of stamps. I definitely used almost all the stamps from this set. I only left 4 of them unaccounted. So this is the set where it is going to be building a scene, basically. So what do we have? We have balmy blue ink that we'll need for our clouds. We have black ink that we need for our music notes. We have Calypso Coral that's used for our birthday sentiment and our butterflies. And then Espresso takes the cake with almost everything else on here. Hi, Karen. So we have a pennant, we have a sign, sentiments. One of the things, you guys, I never try to do, I never try to put my stamps together like that or putting them stacking like that. Once they bond to each other, it's like ripping them apart, and it's not fun. So I always, when I'm storing my stamps, I don't mind the photopolymer on top of the ink pad. That's fine. Then I can put that one on top like that. But when these are stuck together like that, they don't like to come apart so easy. I don't know if you guys know that. So there's what we have. All the colors that we use are like the colors of the rainbow here. So I've got Calypso Coral for coloring birds. We've got Granny Apple Green for coloring trees. Yellow is for our little robin mouth and some straw. The tree is in bronze. And I don't know, Petal Pink. Oh, Petal Pink or Flirty Flamingo. That's what could be used for the animal's ears. And then I've got both, hi Jamie, we've got Gray Granite and Crumb Cake. So Gray Granite was more for the raccoon or Smoky Slate, any sort of gray. And so what's awesome about this card, it's a fun fold. And there's linen thread on here. Oh, I don't have a buddy here to help me. This is going to be difficult for me. We're going to try to make it work. But you can untie this. And then what happens, this is the wow factor. This little guy comes down. And so you have this really super tall tree filled with lots of party animals, right, going on here. And so you've got the bunny, the owl, raccoon, a little birdie, the squirrel boy, another little birdie, and we're singing Joy to the World. And so we also have an inside. So I want to show you guys. I showed my gals last night this card, where I got it from. So in the annual catalog, the mini, if you go to the stamp set, page 53, I cased this card from the catalog right here, that one, and it has that same fold down. The only thing is that I like layers. If you guys didn't figure that out already, I love layers. So I have an espresso layer behind it, and I added a linen thread instead of the black thread, and they have words cut there, and I stamped right on the sentiment. And I made my white a little bit smaller. So, but that's where I got my idea for it from. And so colors, let's get those out of the way for right now, because we're not needing them. I want to show you guys how I set this up for class with the Stamparatus and everything good. So in your kit, you probably open up your kit and you're wondering, where are all the pieces? Normally my card kits are filled to the gills and things are popping out and flying out, and this one, all you had was some linen thread. You had an early espresso card base, which was 8.5 by 5.5, and I did score it in the middle, and you can take your bone folder and burnish it. And then you have a white mat for your inside, 4 by 5.25. Your coral is 4 by 5.25. And then you had a piece of white that is 3 3/4 by 9. And it's scored at, let's see if my instructions, it's scored at 5 and 7. So you guys have that done already, but I wanted to show you how I did that. And I already have one by the magic of TV done here already. So, all right, so we're gonna grab a cutter and not lose our thread. And I'm gonna do this on scratch paper because I wanna set up the Stamparatus to show you how to set up a Stamparatus. So I cut off at, let's see here. So there's an arm that comes out, and I gotta move these guys. We need some room to work. Okay, let's get that here. So 9 inches. So I cut everybody's at 9 first, like that. And then it's at 3 3/4. So you would cut it at 3 3/4. Hi, Mary Carls. And then it said scoring at 5 and 7. So 5 is here, and then 7 is right here. So what happens then is this piece folds up and that piece folds down. And this is what is creating that white base thing. Hi, Sue. Sue, I had a list on my list. I had to mail you a mystery. I think you won a prize, but part of me says I mailed it already. And part of me says, did I mail it? And I need to ask Sue if I mailed her prize. Did you get a prize in the mail for me yet? I don't know if I sent it or not. I'm almost positive I did. If I had to guess, I did. But I've been doing so much lately that I forget what I do these days. So, you guys, I think you can understand and relate when you, like, I don't know why people go on vacation. There's always so much work to do to prepare to leave. Okay, so we're going to be working on the base and this trunk and the topper. And so I have the Stamparatus here. So I know, Kay, you were just talking about, you might need to get the Stamparatus. And I think here's going to be another reason why you want it. It's this whole consistent stamping. I set up these 3 stamps on the Stamparatus, and I was going to show you how I set them up, especially for this one. So what I have is the deluxe foam mat on my Stamparatus, so that I'm using, because I'm using photopolymer stamps. Did you see that? My magnet's caught. So I'm using photopolymer stamps. So I'm using this, oh my gosh, I did it again. And then what I did is I put tape on here so it doesn't want to wiggle around. And then I'm using this scratch paper. It's photocopy paper. Whenever I'm setting up my Stamparatus, I don't want to waste good cardstock. So I'm using copy paper. Hi, Kathy. So I want to see once if I can set it up before going and putting it right onto my good paper. So we're going to set up this tree first. So let's look at the card here. This card has the trunk. It's about in this area. We got to save a little room for the happy birthday. And then we are going to have, this is scratch paper, so I'm okay with it, but these little lines are going to reach up and hit this paper. And I'm okay with that because it's my sample. But what you could also do is stick a piece of, let's see if I have scratch paper right here from cutting that up. We could put this right underneath here so that it doesn't put ink onto the bottom layer. So you just want to make sure you get this as straight as you can. And because we want our tree to be as straight as possible. So we're going to go like that, and we're going to pick up the stamp on the Stamparatus, and then we're going to ink it up. So this is where we need to come and get our brown ink over here. And I like to, if I can, put something behind this so that it helps make this flat and not kind of going at a diagonal down. Hi, Diane. So we're going to ink this up. If you hit the edge, it happens. It's no big deal. Grab your wet wipes. I use my wet wipes to clean up ink I don't generally use wet wipes to clean up my stamps, but I'll use it to clean up my ink on this clear plate. So that's inked up. Hi, Naughty Nancy. So that's gonna go here. Perfect. So that one's set up, it's good to go. That one's the easy one because it's the first one. You guys, I stamped Happy Mother's Day on the back side of my clean purple chamois. It was an accident, but now I've got ink on that side, and I also had something else stamped there. Because of you, I am me. Oh, yeah. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip our plate. So to pull the plate out, you have to pull it directly up. You can't have it at an angle and pull it up. It's locked. So it needs to be perpendicular, so 90-degree angle. We're gonna flip this over because we're gonna utilize the other side of this plate. So I had this Stamparatus set up in class last night. Let's see if you guys can see this. I'll have to go like this. And everybody could basically put their paper in here and then use these stamps. Okay, you're wondering what's happening here. So we gotta pull this down. So if you don't have the Stamparatus and you have these stamps, you can put your stamps on a block and it works perfectly fine. It's all good. This is, if you're gonna be wanting to make like 10 of these cards, you would set this up on here and it would stamp it consistently every time. So we're just gonna put this right about here. Okay, so I'm connecting my two bottom, my outside and my inside of my trunk. Okay, hopefully I got that in the right spot. And now I'm gonna make sure I got my magnets down up here. We're gonna ink this. Now, you guys, I'm just creating a template right now. This is my practice one. If I don't like it, I'm not gonna cry because I didn't use good cardstock. So now this is gonna hopefully line up right with our base on the bottom. Give it a nice good press so that the ink transfers. Okay. I see like on his eye here, it didn't do really well. So I'm just gonna put that right back and press there a little bit more. And there, it filled in his eyeballs. Good job. Okay, then what we're gonna do is just clean this really quickly so that we don't get ink all over the place. So then this one's gonna come off and I'm gonna swap it with the other plate. Now, this was from it set up yesterday, so I'm not sure that's gonna be right. So we're gonna take this off. And we're gonna set this where we think it needs to go. And something like that. So what I'm looking at right now are these points. Because it's photopolymer, you can see through it for the most part. So I'm looking for these points here and here that they are lined up. Then we're gonna grab our plate, put this on here, and then our paper moved. So what we gotta do is just get it right back in the corner because that is how we know it's hopefully gonna line up good. And now we're gonna ink up the top of our tree. And this one, there's a magnet right there. So I do wanna try to press really good right there. Okay, perfect, okay? That's setting up the Stamparatus. Now, you ask, okay, well, if you're only making one card, it's really a lot of work to go through it. It kind of is. But now that it's set up, this is what I would do. So we're gonna need the brown ink. So this was our template. We're gonna start with, I'm not gonna clean this because I'm just gonna keep it like that. We're gonna start with our bottom. So now for you guys, you, in your kit, you had a piece that was actually folded in half like this. It might have been folded down too. I'm not quite sure if we just folded it like that or like that. But either way, this is what you need for it to be. And then I know Mo specifically bought this stamp set just to do this card. So I'm curious, how many of you guys have this Woodland Wonder and are using it on this card? Because if you don't have it, I'm curious also, what else are you gonna use? Because you're gonna have to get kind of creative with it to figure out something else. The other option too is if you wanna just keep it simple, you could just cut this off and use this extra white paper to stamp some things and make some vocal images on there. So you can completely change this card up. So ink that up. Whoa, look at that. We're gonna stamp here. So if you're making 10 of these cards, now this is where this would come in really handy. So that's like that. This pulls down we're done with that. Put our magnet there, and we're gonna clean this because I think we'll be done then. Whoa. And then flip this and ink up. I know I did the Stamparatus 101 class, maybe in early April, but this is just another good reminder of how beneficial it is to have it when you need to line things up and reposition and restamp. So that is like that. Yay! Okay, that's good. So good, so good. But I got ink all over that, so let's get that off of there. Let's clean this one, and now we're gonna do the last one. Set that over there, and then we're gonna do our tree topper. And that'll go right there. So, ink him up. Hi, Feline. And that'll go right there. So, again, this magnet's right here, and we're close to the top, so I really wanna squish her this good. Just like that. Yay! That's how you do it, guys. Now, I mentioned it a little bit ago. You might not have a Stamparatus, but you have these stamps. You could just put all these stamps on your blocks and use them that way. That is perfectly fine. No problem. However, it's easiest for you to do this. All right, so we got that cleaned up. We're done with the Stamparatus for now, but we're not done stamping. We also have lots of other little things. Okay, let's grab the piercing mat. We gotta finish like decorating this dude up. Okay, so we also have a little yay flag here that the owl is holding. So you're gonna ink that up, and that goes right about there. So he's hanging on to that with the little bits of his pinky, or his little wingy. And then this one is our little bunny. The thing is with the bunny, you want to be super careful that you don't stamp him too high. He cannot be above this score. Like if you stamp, like when this is flat and you stamp him on the crease, that's not good. You need to have your bunny down below this crease line, the fold line. And he's hanging out like peekaboo, here I am, look at me. So he's there. And then we also have the little sign that says hip hip hooray. Now, people wondered in class last night, what's the best thing to do, the pole or the sign? So with the sign, you want to not be below this score line. It needs to be between the raccoonie and the bunny. It's close to the edge, the trunk, the left edge. I go for the sign first. So because otherwise you're guessing and you might end up too low with the pole. So I'd put this about 1/8 of an inch away from the right side of the tree, like that. And then this pole, now you just have to kind of get him figured out where he needs to go. You want him touching the tree so that it's like it's in the tree, and these are little knots tied around. Kind of put it right above that, or like right so that it looks like they're tied on there. Okay, that's about it for brown, except for I already stamped my inside, and it says, hope your day stacks up to be one good thing on top of another. And that's perfect for this card because they're all stacked up on top of each other. So that is also stamped in early espresso. Okay, so I think we might be done with early espresso, and I got some scratch paper. So we're gonna clean this up, clean this one. So many stamps. Like this card that you guys wonder now about having multiple sides of the same block. These were, when you have a set like this where it's all little stuff, it's good to have, you see how I use the little flag on the little A block and then that guy on the B block? So yes, that's why you want multiple stamps. Now, our clouds are in Balmy Blue, and we've got one up here, one over here, and one there. Okay, and then we've got butterflies flying all around. I did put clouds as well on my inside. I've done them already, so they're up there hanging out. And we're gonna do coral for our butterflies and our sayings on the outside. So it says, happy birthday. Now in the stamp set, there's also a sentiment that says congratulations. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on over here with the bow that we're gonna tie. So I'm gonna put the happy birthday a little bit more to the right there. Ha ha ha, right there. Clean him. And then some butterflies flying around, fluttering around. So this little guy we're gonna put right about here, because then when this is closed, you still see it. Then we're gonna put one up here. And then on the inside, we've got one hanging out right there. So you don't wanna put it so that half of it's exposed and the other half isn't. We're gonna put it right about there, okay? And our music notes are last. So the music notes are in basic, memento. And the bird is singing. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word right here. They're singing tweedledee, tweedledee, woohoo, rockin' robin. Okay, so that's what we have for stamping. Let's bring back colors. We can talk about what colors were all used. You guys saw that I had one done because of the magic of TV. I don't know when I did it, but I colored one already. So you guys don't have to sit here and watch me color with my tongue hanging out. So let's move these guys over to the side here and talk about coloring here. So our tree, I did a combination of granny apple. Now, if you don't have all these blends at home, you can use whatever coloring medium you have. You can use colored pencils, you could use chalk pastels, and whatever you want to use for coloring. I mean, even you could pull out your crayons if you wanted. But for the granny apple, I did darker on the veins of the leaves, and then I did the lighter granny apple everywhere else. I did yellow, like a dark daffodil, for the straw and the beakies of the birds. The tree I did in bronze. We don't have a lot of bronze, or I should say brown markers. They don't have an espresso, so it's bronze. And it looks beautiful in bronze, so I like the bronze. Now for the critters, you could do like a petal pink or a flirty flamingo, but inside their ears and the little nose, you could do pink, like a light pink. For the raccoon, I did a combination of dark smoky slate and light smoky slate. So his eyes are the darker and then the face is lighter. Now for the squirrel and the bunny, I did the opposite. I did their mouth, like this one's mouth is in light crumb cake, and then his body's in dark crumb cake. And then this one I did the body in light crumb cake and its little muzzle nose in dark crumb cake. And then for the owl, I did the whole owl in dark crumb cake and his little beaky in the daffodil. The sign, I used the light crumb cake right here. So I did a light crumb cake. The pennant here, I did a light balmy blue. So light balmy blue, light coral. The birds, I did in a dark coral. And then their noses, like this guy's nose, I did in a bronze. So you guys are gonna have a little fun coloring. The silver ball in the end was in the gray, one of the smoky slates. And then I did bronze for the wood pole that's coming out of the tree. So yeah, so much coloring, okay? So I know that for right now, you don't necessarily have to finish your coloring. You guys, you can finish your coloring after class, like after we get done. I wanna show you how to put it together. So my magic of my TV, we have mine colored. So the coloring, again, you guys, don't feel rushed that you have to have your coloring done right now. There's no reason why you can't come back to this later on and color it. So what we have here, I don't know how I did this without scoring it, but I did it. I mean, without folding it, but this goes like that. So what we're gonna do first, this piece needs to get glued onto here. So the white mat goes onto the coral mat. So do not get glue happy and glue your coral down yet, because we have to figure out where our ribbon is going to go, or our linen thread. Okay, so we're going to glue that one, and then our inside. Oop, there's an inside right there. You guys, I designed this card for the Winter Creative Escape, and when I was designing those cards, I had about 30 mats that I made extra. Don't ask me how I ended up with 30. That was a lot. That were for my Christmas cards, and so I'm finally phasing them out. They're hiding now behind. You'll never see that again. Okay, So now we have our inside glued in, and now we have our white mat on the coral. So you guys, I gave you a long piece of twine. I don't know if it was 20 inches or something, but I didn't want you to have to struggle whatsoever with trying to tie a bow. So what I would do is I would prep the back with, I don't know, we'll use our tape runner just because then I didn't have to use tear and tape. So I'm just putting that there as a guide. So what you want to do, the bow is going to go underneath your bunny here and above your grass. That's my thought or hope. Or you might have a little less room depending on how you got stamped. But our bow is going to come right about here. So what I'm going to do is see once where I'm at if I do it right there. I'm a little bit shorter on one side. So I'm going to figure out what side I'm shorter. It's this one. So I'm going to pull my string a little bit this way. I'm trying to center it so that I have even amounts for tying my bow. So a little bit more this way. And you know what? I'm going to take advantage that that tape is back there, and I'm going to kind of tape it to my tabletop. Because don't do that onto paper. You're going to end up ripping paper, but I'm going to do it because that'll help me hold that down. So this is where the buddy system really comes in handy. If you have a buddy that could hold this down, that would be helpful. You do not want to tie a knot because it will not be able to come open very easily for whoever opens this. So you got to figure out a way to tie a bow without without having it be really loose. So let's see if I can get this like that. Okay. So I gave you lots of string. Now you can choose to keep it long. So whoever gets this, I mean, you may just trim this one a hair so it's not quite so long. But the main thing is that you've got this card ready for somebody to open. After they open, it's on them. Not you to have to worry about. Let's see if that came off good. Awesome. So that's how that is. So now whoever gets this can pull the string and it pulls the card down, and then they can figure out how to tie it. I'm going to leave my tails that long just because I don't want it to be a struggle for whoever if they want to tie them into a little bow again. So, but this little tape on the back here really helped to hold the string in place while you tie your bow, especially if you don't have a buddy over right now to help you. If you had a buddy over, they could put their finger there or the scissors there to kind of hold it. And you guys, there was no embellishments on here. Like there's no like bling. It was a card that was just paper and a linen thread. Hi, Melanie boy. So that's it. I am not going to pull it open so you can see the full thing, but you can see this one. That's what it looks like. So wonderful. So a little bit of a lot to do. Now, for you guys that aren't done coloring, don't worry. Put the card aside. You can come back and color at any point. So no worries. So this guy right here, this is why it's so hard. So now that the card is not glued to the bottom, it's going to want to wiggle around on me. So let's see how I did that. I put my ring finger down to hold it, and I tried it. I got it. Okay, so there you go. Cool. So that's card number 1, guys. 1 down, 2 to go. Okay, and I did get glue on there. Okay. Let's put this away. We got that guy and this guy. All right. Wasn't so bad, right? I'll have to grab my rubbing alcohol for that. Yay, we got some hearts. Cool. Okay, so next is our sailing home card. I'm going to leave that sit here in case anybody still needs to see that while we get the next stuff prepared. So we have the sailing home card. So this stamp set carried over. So when I was designing my May cards, I had to work with stuff that carried over because I was designing so far ahead because I knew that in May I would be designing in June. So for June, I should say. So Sailing Home was carried over from the annual catalog into the new annual catalog. So it's available still. And there is a set of dies that goes with it that are super awesome. If you love lighthouses or sailing or anything nautical, this is the set for you. It's even got some awesome seaweed in here. And you have Let Hope Be Your Anchor Through the Storms of Life, You Are My True North, set sail in the direction of my dreams, of your dreams, haha. Thanks and congrats. And there's an anchor on here, so lots of versatile stamps in here. And the colors in your kit, what you guys got, it's a navy with white. So I kept it very monochromatic. And let's get this away here. So in your card kit, you'll have your base that's 5.5 by 8.5. And if you guys need me to put this back in the top corner or something, let me know, but I'm gonna just stick it off to the side for now. So you have your base and it's scored at 4 1/4. So just take that and burnish it. You got lots of parts in this card kit though. So you have 2 pieces of white, and they're not quite 4 by 5 1/4. They are actually a hair smaller. And that's because the designer series paper is at 4 by 4. Generally speaking, it should be 4 by 4. But if you get cutting it and you get off by a 1/16 of an inch or even less, you get to the end and that last line is not going to be 4 inches. It's going to be something less than 4 inches. So I cut both of these mats. They're identical. They're the same size, but I cut them both a hair under 4 by a hair under 5 1/4 so that this piece didn't risk going like what's happening here. You guys probably can't see that much, but you see there's like a white line right there. So you guys shouldn't have that. I got it designed to the point where you guys may have to trim off a little of your DSP, but you won't have that white hanging there. So if you do have any of that white, let's see where my little baby trimmer is right here. If you do have it where the white is showing like mine was by a hair, just take your trimmer and shim off just a teeny tiny bit. And then when you put your DSP on here, it will be not that overhang. So now you can see that there's no white line there, which is good. I mean, you don't want to start getting glue happy and gluing that and then have to figure out how to fix it. So now this is going to become my inside and this one will be my outside. This designer series paper, it comes from the Well Suited class that we did last week. Woohoo! So this is some of the paper, and we used that on one of the tie cards last week. Oh, well, where is it? It's right here. We used it on that tie card right there. So this is gonna be, it's got a lucky winner on the back. Yay. So this is the Well Suited paper, is where that was pulled from. And you also have in your kit a strip that's 3/4 by 5 1/4, and it's embossed with the painted texture embossing folder. So I tried to make it look like kind of waves. I know it's not quite there. We don't have a wave embossing folder anymore that's current, so I went with the painted texture, so it kind of looks like the resemblance of waves. And you should have in your kit a circle that is navy, Night of Navy, that's Scallop Circle, and then a basic white that's right like a hair smaller than it. And those come from the dies that are called, they're like the only ones that carried over from the layering circles. And so they're like the 2 biggest ones that were die cut. So you have that die cut for you already. You also have a piece of white that is big enough to make 2 sailboats. And you also have 2 white pieces that are die cut. So I generally don't know who has what, so I give you both. I gave you die cut pieces, and I also gave you enough that you can stamp your pieces for your boats, your sailboats. You have a steering wheel that's already cut out for you, and then you have a piece of baker's twine that's about 13 inches if I had to guess. And you're gonna take that and you're gonna, it's long like this, and you're gonna take it and just fold it in half. And then we'll use that like that. Okay, hi Charlene. We have some stamping to do though. So let's get stamp happy and grab, I'm gonna show you the boats. So in this one we use Night of Navy. We're using Memento. I always flip the Memento over so that it stays upside down so the ink is at the top. I also pulled in Smoky Slate for this one because we have birds on here. And I'm gonna make mine a thanks card so that I can thank the lucky winner for watching me on Facebook. Here are birds, and then our boat, and our boat. It's not a boat, it's a sailboat. Okay, let's see here. So the twine also comes from the Well Suited suite. It's the navy twine, it comes with gray. It's still available. And let's see here, where do we want to start? We're going to start with, just to show you how I stamp the sailboats. So the sailboats, there's 2 different size sailboats in that set. And it's better to stamp them, like you could just stamp this one right in the middle, you guys. You definitely can. It fits on there perfectly. But you can definitely fit both of these guys on here as well. So this guy's going to go up in this corner right here. And then this one will fit right here. So it looked like at first that you could only fit one sailboat on there, but if you maneuver them just right, you can get both sailboats on there. So that's what you had as a piece of white that was meant for you to stamp 2 sailboats. And what I would do, if you do have these dies at home, I always just like to cut these apart and then put them on my machine a little bit further apart. So I would stamp them and then die cut them. Now, you did get 2 pieces of white like this. I don't know what you're gonna do with them. If you don't have the stamp set and you're not, so these are red rubber too, so you're almost having to take a guess of how to line it up. You could go like this and do it the backwards way, like that, to try to get them to line up. That's if you don't have the dies, but, so you have your sailboat, so ours are done right here. And then, so that's it for the memento ink. Then on our circle here, there's a white circle. We have a sentiment. So on my sample here, I have set sail in the directions of your dreams. A lot of people did that because they did congratulation cards for graduations. So that was perfect. So this is what our inside looks like. That'll go on the inside of that. So we'll carry about that in a second, but we're gonna do thanks. So we're gonna do that on the more to the north of the middle, like north of the equator, and then to the right-hand side. And we're gonna put thanks here, like that. Okay, and then on the inside, I'm not going to stamp anything because I like to leave it open. But we have birds, so smoky slate is what I have here, and then the birds go near the top left-hand side. Make sure you have your birds facing the right direction. I'm gonna put them up there, like that. And then I did realize that we have an inside, and I like to stamp the inside, or always decorate the inside. And we used memento for that. So we're gonna grab the big sailboat and then put that right down the bottom. So I'm gravitating towards putting stuff on the bottom right-hand corner, but to me, I feel like he's already off the page. So I'm putting the boat on the left-hand side because it looks like he's gonna sail across the page. Okay, so there's that. I think that's all that we need for stamping. But we have some coloring to do, and I'm gonna do coloring with you on this one. I pulled in some blues and crumb cake for this one. So let's do that, and that, and then they'll be ready for cleaning. So I always stamp off a bunch to get as much ink off as I can. So let's put that back down here. The boat. Now, sailboats are all different colors, you guys. The sky's the limit, but for me in my head, it's a brown boat. So I'm going with dark crumb cake. You could also do a light crumb cake. It could be white. You could put some red sails. Color it however you feel like it needs to be colored. I love the water and I love being on it, but I wouldn't say that I'm a very nautical person. So I couldn't tell you if these colors are good or bad or indifferent. So they're wood boats to me, but they're sailboats. So they're made out of wood and they're brown yet. And they're a very nice brown, crumb cake brown to be exact. So this, I'm just using the thin end of the marker to color. I'm going a little bit slow to make sure that the ink is soaking into the paper. My end here is completely fried. I don't know if you guys can see, but that end doesn't work anymore, but that's okay because the other end works perfectly fine and it's doing the job. Perfect. Okay, so I've got some navies and balmy blues going on. The dark navy is super dark. Hi, Tammy. So I saved that for my water. On the inside of my card here, I just continued down to the bottom edge and made it look like the boat is in water. Yay, right? Then I use some of the lighter ones to do the sails. So if you are a person that likes to color on your inside, sometimes people just leave them uncolored. That works too, but we're doing the balmy blue, and this is dark balmy blue. So we're just doing this sail in dark balmy blue. So it makes the inside look really super cool. If you're an envelope stamper as well, I know some people stamp their envelopes and some people don't. I generally don't stamp my envelopes because I don't keep my cards with my envelope. So it's too hard to keep track of. So we're going to do the same thing on this one. We're going to do the dark balmy blue. But if you are an envelope stamper, go ahead and stamp this same kind of scene on the bottom left-hand corner of your envelope. Whoever gets it will get some happy mail. And it's always fun seeing the outside match the top of the card and then match the inside of the card. So there's that. And then this last sailboat over here, I'm going to do that one in the light Night of Navy, I think that is. There's also, you guys, if you have Seaside Spray at home, Seaside Spray would look really nice as well. But we're making some blue sails here. That's what we're doing. So you could make them pink or purple. We talked about purple birds last week or the week before because Mo had some purple birds on her card for me. And there are purple birds. Yay. I don't think I've ever seen one in real life, but I just saw a picture of one. Okay. Boom. That's it for coloring. I think we can get glue happy now. So what are we going to do first? Let's glue. So one of the things that I like to do is not open up my glue and shut it and open my glue and shut it and open up my glue and shut it and vice versa and all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do, you guys, this is just a trick. If this is too much for you, don't do it. But if you can handle this, I'm going to teach you how to glue a few things at the same time without having to open and shut your glue a whole bunch. So this white circle is going to go flat onto the navy scallop circle. Our DSP is going to go onto our white piece, and our inside is going on the inside. This white mat is going on the inside. So I prepped 3 things versus opening, shutting, opening, shutting, opening, shutting. So now you just have to be very careful to not go at everything and like get it all over the place. So we're gonna put our inside in first, because that was right in front of me. So you're gonna just put the white mat there. And then now we're gonna grab, hi Denise, we're gonna grab our white circle, and that's gonna feel your edges too. Make sure you're putting it on the top. The rolled edge is the top, the rough edge is the bottom. So you've got just a really little baby blue Night of Navy scallop border. So that was one. And now this guy, we're gonna have to figure out how I cut him. I think it was going up and down like that. So that just gets centered onto the other piece of white, centered left to right. And you should have checked your margin on the bottom here to make sure it's not hanging over excessively or too short. Okay, so what do we have next? This guy right here, this scallop circle, we're gonna use some dimensionals and pop that up. And I'm still working on these paper pumpkin dimensionals from last month. So we're gonna put a few of those on the back of our scallop circle. And then I'm going to, it goes about 1/4 of an inch from the top, and then it's centered left to right. So it kind of looks actually like it's centered. The main thing is that your words look straight. So don't put it on like that. Try to get your word, whatever words, and maybe you left the words off. I mean, it's very possible. It looks good without having the words. So that's gonna go, I'm thinking right there. And then Stella. Oh, we forgot Stella on the last card, but we're gonna Stella this. We're gonna Stella our wave. So my mom helped me put together my samples for class, and she didn't know that when you squeeze the Stella, like it just comes oozing out if you squeeze her too hard. So on one of my samples, it's just a solid like line of Stella over it. It's really crazy. So Bonnie was really proud. Bonnie Lesperance. She loves the Stella. So there is not a lot of Stella in there. Let's just see. She's running dry. So a little bit of Stella though on your waves. It'll make them a little glistening. Let's see if this other one works a little better. Oh yeah, there's that other one. There was hardly any glitter coming out. I know from the angle that you guys are seeing it, you really don't even see what I'm doing, but it adds glitter to the front of your card. And it makes it look like the waves are shimmery. I don't know. You can't really see it. Maybe right there, you can kind of see that there's a little shimmer action going on right there. Okay, so next what we're gonna do is this is gonna go onto, so my little white is just a hair shorter than what this is. So if you guys notice that to you, hopefully I didn't do that to you, but what we're gonna do is trim off just a hair, a smidgen. We might as well do the other side just in case it was a little there. So just a smidgen, and then now we should be good to put this guy on. My string went flying through the air. So how I did it is I don't want to put dimensionals in the middle here where this is already bumped up. So what I'm going to do is put some dimensionals on the left and the right side. So right here, and then on the opposite side, about the same spot. You can pick those off. And then I'm going to run a little bit of liquid glue right here so that the navy strip will stick to that. So that's going to go. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking how much space I have here and how much space I have here. And I'm trying to put my blue strip so that it gives me about equal amounts on the top and the bottom. And now I should come good to my left and my right side. So our string is next. And what I'm going to do is make my tear and tape sandwich. I do have this popped up here. I always like to secure the ends of the ribbon behind the bottom layer, the most bottomest layer, the bottommost layer. Oh, that sounded funny. So it's popped up though. So when I put my ribbon on or my twine, I just don't want to have it so tight that it like bends it. So all you're gonna do is take the two ends of your ribbon and center it on that strip. So it's a 3/4 strip. So I'm going, you know what might be cool too is twisting it and making it look like it has a little twist to it. Or if you want, just keep it as straight as you can and not overlapping. But all I'm doing is taking it to the end here and putting my tails right behind here and attaching them to the tear and tape without like really squishing it too much. I'm gonna leave that little bit of a gap there if I can, just like that. And then grab 2 more pieces of tear and tape. And this is what makes our sandwich. You can pick those off. And then we're gonna add a little bit of adhesive to the back here. So adhesive, if you've got tape runner, liquid glue, whatever you want. And now this is gonna go onto our card front. Because I'm using that liquid glue, I'm able to wiggle it around a little bit till I get it where I want it. Once the tear tape is down though, it's hard to move it. So we got 3 things left to put on here and our little baby embellishment. So we have a steering wheel. That will look good, Stella. So let's see if she'll cooperate this time. Stella, the steering wheel, if you can. I mean, if you're giving this to somebody who doesn't appreciate Stella or the little bit of glitter, I wouldn't do it, but. So now on my card here, I put my steering wheel on the left, and I'm gonna switch it up on you guys. So we're gonna put a dimensional right in the corner here. That's where we're gonna start to adhere our boat here. So that's gonna go there, and then on the other side of the boat, sailboat, we're gonna put a little bit of adhesive, some liquid glue, and then it's gonna kind of round with the curve. Now, if you guys really wanted to dress this up, you could have made a sunset scene with like oranges and reds and yellows. You could have blending brushed this whole circle and made it like the most fabulous sunset ever. And so this is gonna go right about here. So by putting that dimensional on the card, I'm not guessing where I need to put it on the boat. So there's that one. And then on this one, I'm gonna put a dimensional at the top. And then we're gonna put a little liquid glue at the bottom. How are you guys doing? You following along okay? So we're gonna put him, so like they're crossing like this. And then in class on Monday night, a couple of the gals, instead of putting that here, what they did is they put it over here. And it looked so nice. So we're gonna do that on this card. Grab a glue dot and put it on the back of our steering wheel in the middle. And that's gonna go over here. And in the new annual catalog, there's some new, they're called Silver and Clear Epoxy Essentials. So there's silver, there's a sheet of silver, and the silver has circles, diamonds, and teardrops. And then there's also clear. And the clear, you can color these with a blend. With an alcohol marker, you could color them and make them whatever color you wanted. And for your Manly Man card here, all you guys that got to go cards, I gave you the diamonds. So the diamonds got used on that card because I was saving these circles for this card. So we're gonna put a little circle right in the middle of that to bling it up. All right, where do we go? Right here. We got card number 2 done, yay. So just think though, if you guys wanted to, you could, before you wanna do, if you're gonna do the blending brushes with oranges and yellows and reds to make a sunset, you wanna do that before you do any stamping, because otherwise it'll bleed over the, it'll make your ink from your sentiment bleed. So you would do your sunset and then stamp. So wunderbar they would say, wunderbar. So card number 2, finale, finito, right? Is that what we say? Done. Okay, put these guys away. It's all good? Are you guys, I'm curious, how many of you are making this card with me right now? Did you have your stamping done ahead of time? All right, or were you doing it with me and keeping up okay? I tried to go slow. All right, so let's get these stamps cleaned so that they're ready to put away. You guys, I made 48 sets of these cards, and 48 sets of these cards are gone. And actually, that's 48 for kits. I made my own 4 sets for classes and for this sample. So total of 52 cards times 3 for this class tonight. It amazes me. All right, so that's good for cleaning. There's a little black or something there. Okay, so we got that all settled up. Now you guys see how it's all, you got to clean those stamps when you're done using them. Get them cleaned up and put them away clean. Okay, card number 2 is done. Now we're on to seashells, seashells by the seashore. So we need to grab in a new tote here, a new bucket. All right, so when I figured out or saw that the seashell, Friends Are Lake seashells was carrying over, I hadn't really used it much for the last year. I used it for the past 5 months. I used it for the Fun Folds class that we used it like an easel. And then for the flamingo card back, I think it was in April, we used the embossing folder for that. So I gotta show you guys what this is all about. This die here, so there's a couple shells that you can die cut the stamped images, but this is what I had never used before. And either you love seashells or you hate seashells. So, or like the beachy thing. I mean, some people love it and some people just don't. It doesn't trip their trigger. So this is a good one that you can like see how much you like it before you would buy it. So put this back over there. I did also pull in a punch for this one, the Label Me Fancy punch. Here's the card that we're going to be making. It says, love you to the beach and back. But any sentiments would work perfectly fine on here. So let's grab our ink colors. We've got Misty Moonlight, So Saffron, Pear Pizzazz, and Melon Mambo. We need some sponge daubers for this one as well. I did accent the card with a few of the opal rounds. And then this is what the pearlized paper looks like. I did a Tip Tuesday on pearlized paper, I think 2 months ago. It must have been sometime in February. So you can always look for that in the magnifying glasses to see about pearlized paper. Okay, I feel like I am missing the embossing folder though. So I want to show you this because I have to go get the embossing folder because you guys got to see it. Just give me 10 seconds, not even. The embossing folder coordinates very nicely with the dies. So what I did first, or I actually didn't, Pat did it. She actually marked up the embossing folder with some tape so that she knew where the paper had to fit between. Her goal, so I gave her a 4 by 5.5 piece of pearlescent paper, and what she did is she put it in the embossing folder, and the first thing you do is you emboss it. So what happens then is we tried as best we could to get the entire scene on there, and it might have been that you might be missing a little bit of the sides of one of those, like just by a little bit. You might have to take your scissors and trim it. The reason that happened is because the pearlescent paper is 12 by 12, and this maxes out right at like 4 1/32 or 4 1/6, it's just a hair over 4. And so I cut them at 4 because I could get 3 by, I could get 3 and 3, so I could get 6 out of a sheet. Where if you cut that just hair over a 4, you don't get another one out of that piece. So hi Chris, hi Melanie. So what she did first is she embossed all these for you. And then after it's embossed, she took the die here, and this literally lines up right over the top of this, and it die cuts it out. So in your kit, you guys, you have this piece already die cut for you using the pearlescent paper. So it's embossed and then it's die cut. And so thank you to Pat Torres for that. So you might have to do some poking though. I tell her she doesn't have to poke all the little pieces out. So you may have to get your pokey tool and poke some of that stuff out. So in your kit, you also have a piece, it's the label. So this Label Me Fancy punch, I punched it out with the pearlized paper. So you have that in your kit. You also have a piece of designer series paper from Sand and Sea. So the Sand and Sea looks like, let me grab it. So the Sand and Sea, this piece right here is actually that piece right here. So there's a lot of different soft, cooling, soothing colors in this palette here. I'm gonna show you the whole sheet though, because that's what's hard about designer series paper is sometimes you don't get the full effect. So this was a leftover of that piece, but let's see if I have a full one here so you can see. Oh, here it is. So this was the sheet that I used for cutting your kits. So some of you got yellow with pink and some of you got blue with pink. So I cut it right here and I cut it here. So half of your card had pink and then the other half either had yellow or blue. They have another piece that's like that in here that I think it's this reddish one that it was. Let me just put this back in here. There was this I cut all these thinking this was the paper that it was, and it wasn't this paper. So you guys, I cut all these mats, and I'm like, oh shoot, it wasn't that designer paper. But this one also had a different color on the bottom here. So it's all right. And then the Melon Mambo is on the bottom. So here's a Melon Mambo, a Melon Mambo mat. And your basic white mat. So your Melon Mambo is a hair over. It's actually 5 5/16 by 4 1/16, just to maximize as much as I could with this die here. So that, and in your kit you also have a Sahara Sand. And Sahara Sand is your traditional mat, 8.5 by 5.5, and then scored at 4 1/4. Okay, so this is what you primarily have in your kit, all these pieces. Now you know what this is all about. And the stamp set in here, these shells, I haven't used them yet. Look at that, they're brand new. But these shells all coordinate with the die as well. So you could stamp them on paper and then emboss them, and then you could die cut them out, and they die cut that perfectly. So that one has one, that one has one, that one does. That, I don't know what these guys are. What is that? Oh, you must color them in if you want. So all of this coordinates so nicely. All of this carried over. The embossing folder, the die, and then the stamp set. Everything carried over. So Love You to the Beach and Back came from this one as well. So let's move this out of the side here so that we can get working. First thing I would recommend doing is stamping your sentiment. Okay, so this pearlized paper is kind of shimmery and shiny. It's not porous. It doesn't dry very well. So I'm gonna stamp on mine with Love You to the Beach and Back. I'm gonna do it right away, and I'm gonna set it off to the side so that I don't risk smearing it. Because in class, people, even at the end of class, they still weren't dry. So you're gonna use Melon Mambo ink, and when you ink this up, you gotta be careful not to smear it around. So when you stamp, you're just going to go straight down, squish a little, and then bring it up. Now, that looks all fine and dandy, but I will tell you right now, if you went like this, it would completely smear the entire thing. So on that note, you're gonna set it off to the side and forget about it for a moment in time. Okay, and we're gonna continue on our mission of stamping. So we're gonna do our inside. So on this card right here, the only sentiment is what's stamped on the outside, and then on the inside, we have a couple little shells on the bottom. And then you could put a sentiment right here if you wanted as well. So we're gonna do a pink shell. So the bigger pink shell is gonna go down on the bottom. And then we're gonna put a yellow shell right next to it. So you guys, if you don't have shell stamps, you don't have to put shells on the bottom. You could put something else that's kind of beachy themed. So that's the inside. And then we're on to coloring this. So how do you color this? With sponge daubers and with your ink pads. And I've got pink lined up. We've got a blue one. One of these was green and one of these is yellow actually. So we're gonna start with yellow. So two of my shells are yellow. And when I dip into my sponge dauber, into my ink, at first it's gonna be super dark. So you don't wanna go straight to your project with it. Otherwise you're gonna end up with a big glob type thing. So I've already stamped or brushed off a couple times. And then I'm gonna go on here and add a little bit of yellow. Oh, did you see how dark that was? That would have been right on there as a circle. You would have seen it. So we got a little yellow guy here. Now, the other thing to think about is my top is yellow here. So in this case, maybe you don't want to do that one yellow. Maybe, or you could put the pink at the top, more like a sunset. So then I think I might do that. So then my pink one's down here, my yellow one's up there. But play around with it. You guys can do it however you want to. And we're gonna put the yellow one up here. So the trick always is to go get more ink before pressing harder on the paper with the sponge dauber. You wanna preserve the sponge as much as you can. The softer and the lighter you go with it, the longer it will last. So we're just adding a little bit of color onto here. So you wonder though, does this smear? And it doesn't matter if it smears or not because there's you don't have to really worry about lines or anything. So that's the yellow. Hi, Melanie. We got both Melanies here. Nice. Okay, then we're gonna do the pinky inky. Same thing, go off to the side first so that you don't get that big circle right on here, and then kind of work your way on. The thing with color and sponging is you can add more, but you can't always take it away. So if you don't like it because it's too light, it's easier to add it than it is to make it too dark and then want it to go away or be less. So we just added a little pink to the one shell here. So sponging that. You can see where the bump ups are, that it got a little darker. So we just have that for the pink. And then we're gonna do a little bit of blue. So I tried this first with Balmy Blue because I thought it would be better if it was lighter. Balmy Blue did not show up at all. So I went with Misty, but Misty does that same thing where you gotta be very careful because at first it's going to be dark. So I've got a couple blue shells here. So that guy's blue, and this little dude is blue. Okay, so we got our blue shells. And then we have our foliage or our seaweed in Pear Pizzazz, and that's right here. I wonder, you guys have a hard time seeing that because of that plastic, so we'll set that like that. So the Pear Pizzazz is basically everything else, and you can choose. I only did that spiky seaweed, and I didn't do that one, but this looks cool being green as well. So I'll show you what it looks like. So you gotta be careful. You can't go back and forth on this or you'll catch your little ends of your greenery here. So Gotta be careful when you get to the end to go out with it versus back and forth. Otherwise, you're gonna bend it back at you. And we're gonna do a little green. I'm gonna do all of everything that's left in the green. And then when you get to the end stuff here, you see I'm working my way out, lifting it up, and then coming back. Otherwise, you're gonna pull it back and you could potentially bend your paper. See, that looks super cool with it green as well. Up at the top. And then I'm gonna try to sneak in. You have to be careful because you don't wanna get ink all over your yellow. So you might choose not to go into that middle area, but we're gonna get a little green there, a little green in there, and then this one I'm gonna work my way out. Be careful with the tips of these again. And then this one, we're gonna work our way out. Okay. Oh, I left one, haha. I always forget a section. It's like you gotta go around the circle all the way. Otherwise you forget a section. Okay, cool beans. So that's how I went about coloring that. You guys at home, you can figure out however you wanna do it. I gave you the whole die cut image. You could even leave it pearlized and not have it colored at all. And that would look cool too. So we are going to do a little assembly. So let's move this out of the way. Oh, we lost our winner over there. Came right off. Okay, how did I assemble this? I put dimensionals behind the shells, and I have these that I love to when you get to the end of the dimensionals, cut these into smaller pieces, and you definitely can use these. They work just as well as when they are shaped like the little hexagons. So I'm gonna put a couple on that big one. We're gonna put one on that little small one, two on that one there, and a couple here. So what I did is I popped up behind the shells, and then what I'm gonna do is put a little liquid glue on some of the other seaweed areas. There. So then when it comes to the liquid glue, now if you don't like liquid glue, you could do a little tape runner action, but I try to cherry pick some areas that are close to the ends so that they will get secured down. And I'm don't squish so hard that it oozes all over, because when you go to put this down, that will squish out. So less is best on that. And then this is going to go onto, hang on, I want to glue this. So the designer paper, I would recommend gluing that onto your pink paper first. So let's get that onto your Melon Mambo. So we're going to put that on first. Then this is easier because you got a little more border for that to hang over the edge. So like that. Now it's going to pop up where your shells are, but then where your liquid glue is, that stuff is flat. So it kind of gives it a little bit of different dimension, that some of it is popped up and some of it is not popped up. Okay, cool. Then we're gonna do some ribbons. You guys, in your kit, you have, I made a baby bow for you, a double bow, and you also have about maybe 9 inches of linen trim, linen thread. And so one of these is for my bow, and one is for, you're gonna take it and fold it in half. You could always snip the one end if you want, but folding it in half will be just fine as well. So you're gonna take your ends. So there's a line right here that I saw, and that's where I put my linen thread. Oh, I wonder if that's for my bow. Huh. Let's see if I can make a bow. I made your guys' bows already, so you might be done already. I think that that was really short for me. Oh, that's really short too, but we're gonna use that for our bow. I was gonna show you how to use the bow maker. Oh, that's really short. Oh man. Mom says, enjoy those little nimble fingers while you still can, because they're not gonna be like that forever. So, all right, there's our bow. So that was a little bit short to wrap around there. So there's that. And then I have the other piece. So you guys have a bow like that already made in your kits. And then you have another piece, I think that was probably about 10 inches or 11 inches, something like that. And we're gonna put this guy, like I always look at the front of the card to make sure I have it straight. And then tuck my tails behind. Grab another couple pieces of tear-in tape. Put them on there. And a little bit of liquid glue. Whoa, I got really close to the edge. Did you see that? No, that will ooze out. So here's my trick. If I get a little bit of glue too close to the edge like that, what I will do is, as I'm putting my card on, I will slide it this way instead of squishing it, and then it might come out that way. So my glue is right there, really close to the edge. So I will make sure my card is facing the right direction and not a trick card. And then I'll slide it on from the right going to the left. And now that glue spread more to the inside of the card versus oozing out. So that's how I do that. Now, the Melon Mambo is a little bit bigger than a traditional 5 1/4 by 4 mat. So you're seeing a little bit less of the Sahara sand, which is okay. Your shells are your focal point. Now, this guy's dry already. I stamped this about a month ago, I'm guessing. But this guy, you guys, is still wet. You can see it's still a little bit shiny on there. I could bet if I take my finger and press on there, there's ink right there. So I still got some of that. So that's how I test to see if something is dry. I kind of roll my finger on it and I roll my finger off and I don't smear it. And then I see, oh, I've got ink there. So I know it's still wet. So you don't want to touch that, but we want to put it on the card so we can be done with it. So what I would recommend doing is you're going to put it right about here. So we're going to put a dimensional right there and we're going to put a dimensional there. So we're prepping our dimensionals on the card base, and then we're going to pick this guy up and not touch the ink. I'm centering it pretty much top to bottom so that my linen thread is going kind of through the middle. And I'm not touching the ink. I promise you, don't want to touch it. You're going to end up flipping it over if you smear it. Then grab yourself a glue dot, and that's going to go on the side here. And that's going to go right there. Oh, you see my one tail is really long and the other tail's short, so we got to trim him. Okay, again, try not to touch the ink whatsoever. Now, if you don't have the love you to the beach and back, stamp whatever you want. I did that one, happy birthday, thank you works, whatever you want. And I have 3 opal rounds for you in your kit. So, oh, there they are. Nope, that's not where they went. Where did they go? So, they probably went back in here. So let's just see. You guys, the opal rounds come in 2 sizes. There's either small or large, or medium. They're not even that big, but there's 2 different sizes. And so everybody's got 2 of one and 1 of the other. And so some got 2 of this bigger and 1 smaller, and some got the opposite. So I'm gonna put, I'm just randomly gonna put some on here, and we're gonna, I kind of tried to fit them in where there was some open space. So I have a hard time with where to put these embellishments. Yeah, all the time. I'm like, where do I put them? So we got them on there. I mean, maybe one would have looked okay right there too. Who knows? There's no wrong or right way here to put your embellishments on. So just get them on. All right, there we go. Card number 3 is done. And again, some people got the blue. I had half of the card kits had pink and yellow, and half of them had blue and red, or blue and pink, just because that's how it worked out. And so you got what you got. And if you like the paper, you can always get more of it and make more cards. So let's do a recap here. So we have our sailing home card. We have the love you to the beach and back, and we have our little critter card. So let's see here if we can get an angle shot here. Sometimes I can get this to do a still picture, and then I can use this as the main picture for the class or for the video. Did you guys have a favorite? I'm curious which one. So I I think I'd have to pick this one just because of how awesome this pearlized paper is. The pearlized paper carried over to the new annual catalog, which was awesome. This one's great for if you have a kid that needs a birthday. And this one I tried to do with more manly. So I know we have Father's Day coming up in June. So I had to pull in some man cards. Does this go on the inside? Oh, it does. So you guys, we don't even need to Stella. I was thinking about Stella. We don't even need to Stella anything really on this card because it is all so shimmery and pearlized. So, oh, we don't want to do that. Always good to check things before you start getting glue happy here. So that'll go here like that. Okay, so yes, so I did the well suited in May to get you guys some man cards, and then this one was man cards, and now we go back to everything that I always do, which is normally not man things. So, woohoo! We did it, guys. We got our 3 cards done, and it's not like 8:30. Yay! So, I did want to remind you guys too that during the month of May, there is a sign-up special. If you want to join the Be Happy Stampers and be a bee, woohoo, and be happy, you get $155 in your starter kit. You can pick absolutely anything that you want that is currently available in either catalog or the clearance rack. And as long as it's not over $155, and you get a past paper pumpkin kit, you get business supplies, you get everything, and you can be a discount shopper and do nothing with it whatsoever except for get your discount, or you can be crazy like me, which there's not a lot of people that are as crazy as me, but you're welcome to be crazy like me if you want to be. I'll help you be crazy. The other thing is that there's also a host promotion going on right now. If you have a $250 workshop with a friend or friends or by yourself, it doesn't matter how many people are part of your host or your party, at a $250 workshop, you get an extra $25 of host credit. So at $250, you would normally get $25, and now you get $50. It's doubled. So no judging if it's by yourself or if with a friend, if they help you. So just know that that is an option, and that one goes, so the promotion for hosting, it goes through June 14th, and the promotion for signing up, that special is May 31st. So if you guys need any help with that, please email me. My phone is not going to be turned off, but I don't know how well I'll have cell reception in Hawaii. So I would say emails will come through better than anything when I'm on internet, and text messages that are multimedia might get hosed up, or just text messages in general might get hosed up. So I would highly recommend you guys like Facebook Messenger or emails to ask me questions, or if you need help signing up. I know a bunch of you, we have Vanessa Sailor signed up to be a bee last night, and her mom Leota is signing up tomorrow. So that's exciting. And we said Tanya and Linda, and then there's one more. Wait, we had one more gal sign up, and I'm trying to think who was Tanya. Oh my gosh, you guys! On the blank. I'm drawing the blank, and I hate when I draw the blank. Trying to remember somebody. Oh goodness gracious! Great balls of fire. You rattle my brain and you shake my whatever that song is. So, well, maybe it was just those 4: Linda, Vanessa, Loretta, and Tanya. Things that make you go, So anyways, we have a bunch of bees. We have more bees that join the team. That's awesome. So if you guys want to join the team, you're more than welcome to be part of my community of crazy bee happy stampers. We love it. So, all right, we're going to do a drawing. So what's going to happen? Next week, when Kelly does Mystery Card Night, she's going to announce the winners of these 3 cards. And then the strawberry cards for ink, paper, scissors, I'm going to be holding on to those winners until I do my swap card showcase in June. And then when she does her paper pumpkin night, she's going to announce the winners for Mystery Card Night. So you guys will get almost a whole week to submit your entries. So she's going to go live Thursday for Mystery Card Night, and we're going to give you till like we normally do the Wednesday. So you have like 6 days to work on your cards and get them submitted to have a chance at winning some prizes. So okay, guys, we're going to tell you who won cards. I feel like we're a little bit early, and I feel like we're missing things, but maybe we're not. We're good, and that's good because got things I can work on. So All right, so these were our that wanted to keep coming off here. So these were our well-suited cards from last week. Oh, that one came off too. They do not want to stick. And then we had our happy birthday one, and then we had a Father's Day. So let's do this one first. Drum roll. Winner, winner, chicken dinner is Amy Ponce. You are, or is it Ponce? You guys, I have a hard time remembering where the accents and still the pronunciations go. So Amy Ponce, you are the lucky winner of the Happy Father's Day card. So I have your address. I'm going to get this in the mail to you before I leave tomorrow. So, no, I don't leave tomorrow. I leave on Saturday. So I'm going to get this in the mail tomorrow, though, before I leave, is what I was trying to say. Okay, winner, winner, chicken dinner. The winner is Karen Halterman. It's Halterman. Karen Halterman. You are the lucky winner of that one. I do not have your address, so I will need that. All right, winner, winner, chicken dinner is Sandra Tangway. Tangway, it's Tangway. Sandra, you are the lucky winner of the tie card. Woohoo! Okay, and this one was my favorite, you guys. It was my dad card, Papa John. All right, and I left it so that whoever gets it can do whatever they want with it. And the winner of this card is Mo. You were the one that was drawn for this one. Mo Stites, lucky lady. You will be getting this card, and I have your address, so I will pop this in the mail for you tomorrow as well. So Mo and Amy, I have your addresses, and Sandra and Karen, I don't. You can private message me if you want them. If you don't private message me, I don't know where to send them to, and they go into a pile. And they stay there for a little while. So, okay, you guys. So I matched my sign back here. I noticed that when I looked back there, I'm like, oh, I got the yellow going on. It's so bright and cheerful. Julie, I love this shirt. It felt so good to wear it. I'm taking it to Hawaii with me, and hopefully I don't wear it out there. I don't want to come back with it because I wore it every day, but I would probably do something like that. So, all right, you guys, 5 o'clock Central tomorrow night, ink, paper, scissors. I have one set left to the first lucky person that wants it, because I will sell it to whoever is the first one that says that they would like it. It's $25 for porch pickup, or it is $30 if you want it mailed. And I will mail it before I leave if you tell me you want it, so that you would get it by early next week, and then you could always watch the replay again, or you get the PDF tutorial to put the cards together. So, woohoo! Okay, I think that's it, guys. I'm going to work on some things and make it happen. I'm down to 36 hours, I feel like. Not even 36 hours before. Oh, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll be on the plane. So, like 30 hours, I got to be on my way up to Appleton. So, I got, like, it's so weird when it gets to the end of the time frame. It's not days. Now it's hours. And it's like, whew, okay. So, all right, you guys, lots of sunshine and love and hugs to you. We'll see you tomorrow night, 5 o'clock. Bye.